CapCut is one of the easiest editing softwares to use. I myself learned it within a day without anyone having to help me. I personally find the platform to be very intuitive, and I really believe that anyone can learn this. If you have been creating content or you want to create content, but editing is just a complete headache for you right now, we are going to fix that in just a few minutes today. I'm going to show you exactly how I edit my talking head short form videos for social media. We're going to start with basic editing, but at the end, I'll show you 5 must-have CapCut effects that everyone should know. Before we get into the full video, I want to ask you to subscribe to my channel. This is my first video, but I plan to make many more to help you navigate personal branding and content creation online. All you're going to need is a laptop and the video you want to edit. If you want to make it even easier for yourself, you can get a computer mouse. And I would highly recommend that you edit either on a laptop or on an iPad. The interface is just so much easier to use and it's so much faster, and I want to help you do this as efficiently as possible, because if we're very honest with each other, nobody has 4 hours to edit a 1-minute video. I'll share my screen and show you exactly how I do this. So you're going to start by opening the app and clicking on Create Project. Now, as you can see on the right hand side, we have the details panel. At the bottom, we have our timeline. On the left hand side, we have where we're going to import our media. And here in the middle, where there's nothing at the moment, is where you'll see the preview of your video. So before we import the media, we can start with just the details. So on the right hand side, you can see details, and here you see the name of your file, plus the resolution, frame rate, all of that. So you can modify this and add a title to the video. I'm going to call this tip because I'm making an Instagram tip video. And then you can change a bunch of other things on here. For example, the aspect ratio. I'm going to make mine 9:16 because that's the default for social media short form videos. And then you have your frame rate. So this should ideally match the frame rate in which your video was shot. Depending on the device that you use to shoot this video, you can either see it in the file itself, on the file information, or you can check your camera for the settings and that will show you. If you want to change these things later on, you can change them again. This is not set in stone. You can also click up here if you want to change the title, and before you export, you can also change the things like this, like the frame rate. I'm going to import my media. So now that the media is imported, you can add this to the timeline. So there are 2 different ways. You can either drag it into the timeline, or you can click here on that blue plus sign, but I've just dragged mine in. Now there's a few things you need to do before you start cutting, because then the video is still in one piece. Otherwise, you have to do it for every single clip, or you have to select them all. It's just far easier to do it from the start. I'm going to rotate it. That's one of the things. Make sure that it's the correct scale. Then if you want to do any adjustments, for example, the lighting or any of that, you can click on the video, and then on the right hand side panel you'll see different options up here, and I'm going to click on adjust, and I'm just going to up the saturation by 1 or 2, and I like to make the contrast just a little bit higher, but this truly just depends on your own preference. Another thing you have to do before starting to cut is to check that the audio is fine. So mine I can clearly hear, and if there is anything that you need to do, like make it louder, or for example, you'll see here on the right hand side you have a bunch of different options like reduce the noise, isolate the voice, any of that, you need to do that before you start cutting. If you do forget and you've already clipped your video in a bunch of different pieces, you can just select all of them. You just drag like this and select, or you can hit Command and select all of them so that you can actually change all of them together. So it's not that big of a deal, but there are a few things that I like to check beforehand. Included in that is also the position, so I make sure that I'm nicely in the middle and that the positioning is fine. While I'm editing, I'm going to make use of a few different keyboard shortcuts that I've learned over my time using CapCut. I'm not going to run through each and every one of those because not everyone cares. But if you want a full PDF list of all of these CapCut shortcuts, you can find a link to that PDF in the description. It's very easy to just screenshot and keep it on your phone. That's very convenient. Or if you're old school, you can put it up on the wall by your desk. But it definitely saves me a lot of time and makes editing so much more efficient. So now I want to cut my video. I want to get rid of all of the silences, long breaths, repetition, anywhere I made a mistake. I don't like to add any other edits and do a bunch of other stuff before that. It's just cut so that it's a clean video, a clean slate to work on, and I know that everything that needs to be said is there. and everything that should not be there is gotten rid of. So how I like to do this is I like to drag the playhead to where I see the sound bars are the loudest, because clearly that is where I speak. It just helps you identify the silences without having to watch the entire video and try and find them that way. So how you can cut a video, there's a few different options. So you can drag the cursor until you reach the end of the clip and it changes into this little symbol, and then you can drag it to cut the video. We can also do the following. I like to do this because it saves me a lot of time. This symbol up here is a delete left symbol. So what that does is it deletes everything to the left of this playhead. So I click on that and it's gone. You can do the same for this one that does the deleting to the right. And this symbol, it is just to split the video wherever you want. So for example, I'm going to split the video here, and then I'm going to move the playhead again up to where the sound starts, and then I'm going to delete left. And that's very easy, super efficient. So I'm going to do that until I have my bare bones video, no repetition, no mistakes, and then I'll be back. Okay, I've now cut the video down to about 1 minute and 10 seconds. All the boring work is done, so we can actually get into the fun, creative stuff. I'm going to start with adding text. So I'm going to put the playhead at the very start of the video, and I'm going to click on text here on the left-hand panel. And then you see default text. I'm just going to click on the blue plus sign. Then on the right hand side, I'm going to edit what the text says. So I've written my text hook here, and I'm going to drag the text to a more favorable position. I'm also going to change the font size. All of the font sizes, font styles, effects, all of that you can always do on the right hand side of your screen. So I'm going to take the font size down a few. I'm going to find my favorite font that I like to use. And as you can see, it doesn't really pop that much on this background. So you can find a few different ways to style your text down here. I like to use this little drop shadow, but you can do different things. Like this is popular for text hooks. There's a black version of that. You have this outline text, but I'm going to stick to my drop shadow. Down here, you can change a bunch of other things as well. If you want to change any other element of your text, for example, the opacity, you can do that here. The stroke, that's when it adds an outline. The background, that's when it does that effect. So you can see all of these different effects in here. You should just go in here and explore as much as possible. If you want to change how long a piece of text is shown on screen, you can do it the same way you drag and clip these pieces of video. I just move my cursor till it gets me that symbol, and then I drag it wherever I want. I do the exact same thing for a text call to action, or something I really like to do is I just copy that piece of text and I paste it at the end of my video. So then the position is the same, the effect is the same, the fonts, all of that. So it's just much faster. So that is it for text. Now we're going to move on to closed captions, because if you didn't know this, videos with closed captions do far better on Instagram than videos without, because a lot of people actually watch their videos on silent. On the left hand side, you'll see media, audio, text, stickers, etc. And then you see captions. So I'm going to click on captions and then on generate. So it's going to auto generate the captions for me. Now that the captions are generated, I have to go and check them because they're not always accurate. And you can also change the style of your captions. So these are already selected. I can just go by text here on the right hand side, and I can also change it to a font that I like. I also like to add a drop shadow here to make it easier to read. So now your closed captions are added. All you can do is watch through the video and make sure they're all correct. Scroll through them and read through them to make sure that they are accurate. And then we get to add some more supporting visuals. I actually want to add some photos in here. So I'm going to airdrop the photo I want to add to my laptop. And then in the media section, as we did earlier, you can just either drag and drop the file or click on import and select the file. So then I'm going to move the playhead to where I want to add the photo, and I'm going to drag it into the timeline on a layer that I prefer. Now if you want to crop the photo that you're inserting, look for the crop button in this section, and I'm going to click on it. Then I can just freehand crop this screenshot. Click on confirm and it's cropped. I'm also going to just make it a little bit smaller so that it fits in properly. I'm going to place it like that because I want to show you a cool effect that I like to use a little bit later on. So it's over my head, but it's not going to stay that way. I usually add a lot more, but I'm not going to repeat what I just did. So let's stick to this and I'll show you some effects. But before we move to effects, I want you to think of the best experience you have ever had at a restaurant. There was probably some very soft music playing. The waiter was there every now and again just checking in to see if you're still good. The lights were probably not too bright. They were most likely a little bit lower than you would usually have them. And you probably had a great experience because of the atmosphere. Now imagine if we doubled all of those elements. So instead of coming every 10 minutes, now the waiter's there every 5 minutes or even every 2 minutes asking, are you okay, are you okay, are you okay? The music is super loud, you can't hear your friends and family, and it's so dark in there because they're trying to create this atmosphere that you can't even read the menu. Okay, so that is the difference between a video where effects are being used sparingly and one where they're being overused, where they're not subtle enough. And I'm going to teach you a secret. Your effects can most likely be even more subtle than they already are. Always go less in your face than you expect. Especially in 2026, people love authentic videos. I know we work super hard to make our videos look authentic, but over editing is a great way to distract your audience and get them to think about your edits instead of the words that you are using. So effect number one I want to show you is keyframes. Now, have you ever seen people do some cool zoom effects like the one I'm showing now? I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to use keyframes. Think of keyframes as a starting point and an end point for something to happen. You need both of them for that to work. Let's say I want to zoom in a little bit on this first section of my video. I'm going to start by clicking on the clip, and on the right hand side by the transform section, I'm going to click on this diamond at the very edge of the screen, and that's going to add a keyframe. You can see it here on the timeline, that small blue thing. Now I'm going to move my playhead a little bit ahead in the video. Once you do that, you can add another keyframe. Now something needs to happen between the first and the second keyframe. So I'm going to select the second keyframe and then I'm going to zoom in a bit. Now what this tells CapCut, we're starting at the normal size for keyframe number 1. And by the time we reach keyframe number 2, we should be at a bigger size. And this is what it looks like. More likes mean that your post gets shared to more of your current followers. Did you see that zoom? That was created by keyframes. Now you can move this keyframe a little bit more to the front, so then it looks a bit faster. More likes mean that your post gets shared to more of your current followers, or you can move it further ahead so that the zoom happens a little bit slower. Keyframes can be used for many different things. It's just when you want to move from one state of the video to another state of the video between 2 points. So you can do this for position, for size, for transparency, rotation, whatever it is you may use, but the most common way to use it, I find, is with this slow zoom effect. Our next effect is going to be removing the background of photos or videos. We're going to select a clip, and then on the right hand side you'll see under video you have basic, remove BG, mask, retouch. Now remove BG, remove background. The auto removal works very well. I wouldn't even suggest using the custom removal. It does actually work as well as the auto removal. So the only reason you'd run into an issue here is when you or the subject is not very distinguishable from the background. But most of the time when you film talking head videos, that's not the case anyway. So we're going to click on that and we're just going to click on auto removal, and you'll see it in a second. The background is removed. Now I don't actually want to remove the background on this clip because then it looks like I'm sitting in a void. So I'm just going to undo that. But next up, using the remove background effect, I want to show you something else where the element, the supporting element, is actually floating behind my head. So it turns your video into multiple layers and just gives it a bit more depth and visual interest. I want to put this screenshot behind my head. So I'm going to copy the bottom clip and then I'm going to paste it back into the timeline at the exact same spot. Then I'm going to drag it so it's above the screenshot, because you have to remember this is like layers of papers. So if this one is on top of the other image, you won't be able to see the other image, right? Unless we remove the background of the first one. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the background of that one. There we go. Now, something else you have to remember with this effect is that the top clip you need to mute, or at least one of the two, but I just always mute the top clip. Otherwise, you're doubling up on the audio tracks in this section and it makes it sound very weird. So to mute this, I'm going to audio and just dragging this so that it's at 0. And now this is what it looks like. Himself, Adam Mosseri, has his own Instagram page. The fourth effect you have to know about is animation for different elements. So back to this screenshot, I felt like it was just a little bit jarring when it just shows up on screen. So instead I'm going to click on the screenshot in the timeline, click on animation, and here you have a bunch of different options. I like to go to the basic section because I don't want anything too crazy. And one of my favorites is just slide left. It's very simple, it does the job. So let's see what it looks like. Himself, Adam Mosseri, has his own Instagram. Much better. Now you can do this for anything else, including for text or captions. So I'm also going to do the same for my closed captions. I'm going to select all of these closed captions, and then also on the right hand side click on animation. Now there's in, out, loop and captions, so specifically you're looking for the captions part of the animations, and I like to use the stamp down one. I have it starred here, so I like stamp down. Each word shows up on its own and it looks like this. Instagram algorithm categorizes reach in 2 different ways. So you can do this with any element, you can animate any piece of your video just to make it a little bit more engaging. And lastly, we're going to talk about sound effects. Now remember what I said at the start of this section, that you don't want the music in a restaurant to be so loud that you can't hear your friends and family. The same thing here. You don't want people to actually ever think about the sound effects. They almost shouldn't realize that they are there. But anyway, there's a few different ones you can use, and each one should have a purpose. So never just add sound effects for the fun of it. Add them when it's necessary. So for example, with the screenshot here, I'm going to add a sound effect at the moment it appears. On the left hand panel, you click on audio. It's right next to media. And here you can find so many different things, but I like to just click on the search bar and find something I think would be applicable. So I'm looking for a click sound. That one sounds good. So I'm going to click on the little blue plus sign to add it into the video where my playhead is at. If I zoom in, you can clearly see it. So your audio will always appear here at the very bottom of your timeline. The click sound happened at the same time that the element moved in. It was a bit loud to me, so I'm just going to make it a little bit softer. But there are so many other sound effects you can try. Play around with them, but like I said, subtlety is key. The one thing you take from this video is that you should never ever ever over edit your videos, and that's why I also kept this tutorial so simple. If you have any other questions, please feel free to let me know in the comments. I would love to answer them. And even if you have a video suggestion, leave that down below. I can't wait to share more. Before you go, remember to grab your free CapCut shortcut PDF. It's linked in the description, and I hope it makes your editing much easier.